it does. It really does make a massive difference. And you're helping people. You may never meet them, you may never get to meet them, but know in the long run you saved or helped somebody that really needed you. So I mean, it makes me feel good knowing that I can help people, even if it's a little bit. Even if it's that $1 or 10 or 50, or heck, if I ever get to the point where I can do $5,000, I wish.
Right.
Hey, for radio, I now paid for the whole thing. We're done.
Right.
The show is over.
We would call that you're deriving marginal utility from being a donor.
Yes, yes.
Etc. Some psychic benefits.
Some psychic marginal utility. And we have a new donor to thank, the Lazarus Group, LLC. Boy, I believe that might be my friend who now lives in Indianapolis. Thank you so much, Chris Harrell, for donating to us at giveforgoodlouisville.org. We are here through noon in a special live excess hour to encourage you to donate whatever you can. $10 or more. $10 is the minimum. You can't. I don't think you can donate $1 because the fees of processing that $1 would outweigh the marginal utility of that dollar. So $10 minimum, but pretty much all of our listeners could afford $10 to support the listening that they get here 24/7, 365, bringing you voices from around the community that you won't hear anywhere else. There is no other program on the airwaves in Louisville that's like Economic Update, Impact, and your show too. Both of them, right?
Both of them.
You're both on our program.
Richard Wolf is excellent, so listen to him as well.
Yeah. And there's no other show on our airwaves that you're going to find that's like Goliath's Rants, Raves, and Reviews, right? You don't tune into some other station and hear that kind of programming.
I've had Richard on or Rick, as he prefers to be called, on my show, and he sent me an email not too long ago. Let's do it again.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's a good guy.
See, we're getting access to national thinkers who are really not getting enough of their message out there, right? We do that too with our national programming through Pacifica. I don't know if we got any fans of Democracy Now! In the house, or Letters in Politics, or Rising Up with Sonali, or Law and Disorder. This Project Censored. These shows are so cool, you all. And your donations to Forward Radio help support the entire Pacifica Network through our membership fees to the Pacifica Network. So you can donate today at giveforgoodlouisville.org, and your impact will not just stay here right in Louisville, but even expand out across the nation, bringing you progressive voices for change, right? We wake up every morning, we look at the news headlines, and we go, oh God, right?
I have turned. I have to block all the news channels on my TV, because every time I turn something on, I'm like, today children had a problem. No. Today a bus looked. No. Okay. Today the economy. No. How was it happen? Today a puppy had puppies. Like, that would be great news.
And we do try and bring you some of those fun local stories to bring you some joy too, right? But we also try and bring you a counter narrative that doesn't just share the bad news, but talks about the fundamental reason behind the bad news, so that we all can be informed about what we can do individually and collectively to address these very issues.
Well, it's like the show that we did on donut economics. I'm not hearing it discussed anywhere else.
Donut.
It's almost lunchtime.
Go ahead.
So, should we let our listeners know, for those that haven't heard of the Community Foundation or the Give for Good Louisville organization?
Yeah, we should talk about what that is, because, again, it's not just about Forward Radio, but all of the nonprofits. What did you say, 20 pages of
There's
nonprofits?
now 25, apparently. There's apparently 7,623 donors, 11,998.99. Okay, 11,990, it just keeps going. 550 organizations, companies, and groups. And right now, the total Give for Good Louisville has raised $1,068,502.
And that number is constantly
And
changing,
it's just, someone just donated
going
$1,000.
up.
Wow, it's great. So it's just skyrocketing, guys. Remember, it may be $2 million, but it's spread across so many companies. So it's a good number, but they're always growing. Like, enough is always never enough. So if you can give that $1.50, please do.
Yeah.
So the Community Foundation of Louisville, based on those numbers, is such an important community organization. And I believe what it does is actually connect nonprofits with funders and funding. And then the Give for Good Louisville is the event that happens every year in which we give it our best push and really rally for those donors and donations.
Yeah.
But we also have here in Louisville, I believe it's still in existence, the Center for Nonprofit Excellence.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's still running. It's
Yeah.
Yes.
still strong.
Okay.
We've
Which-
taken advantage of their services.
Which does a tremendous job of
Yeah.
helping these nonprofits do a good job of managing money, connecting with their clientele, or I don't want to say customers, but the folks who need the services as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
So this is well managed. These are well managed programs thanks to the Center for Nonprofit Excellence, and I think we have some of the better organizations in the United States located here in town in this area.
So with the Community Foundation, maybe a lot of our listeners don't even think about it except for this time of year because probably not the big philanthropy, we're super wealthy people, right? But people with a lot of money in town, whether they're individuals or businesses, are always looking for ways to support the community. And they can give through the Community Foundation to support some of these vetted nonprofits, right? And not just like, oh, I got a buddy who's in a group. Like, this is...
I got a guy. I know a guy. I know a guy.
This is a way to support vetted nonprofits like us that have done our due diligence and that the Community Foundation is trying to support and sustain. And this work happens throughout the year, but this is their big signature event of the year, Give for Good Louisville. And we are so excited to be participating in this community-wide effort to support all of the great organizations that do the kind of work that's behind the scenes that we don't maybe think about day to day, but are really impactful and important for making our community as vibrant and successful and exciting a place to live as it is. I mean, there's everything from basic services for, pets or people who are houseless, right? To arts organizations that bring the culture we love, to community radio stations like ours that bring you community media, access to media you won't hear anywhere else. And that's why we really encourage you to go to giveforgoodlouisville.org and peruse some of those organizations. You may discover some that you've never even heard about before that are doing incredible work in our community. Today's the day you can support them. We are now, folks, at 27% of our goal.
Woo!
13 donors. We want
That
to
is
thank
great.
our own Goliath and Yanielle, who just made their pledge live on the air here on Forward Radio. In the midst of our special live access hour, we are also live on our Facebook channel. Hello to all our Facebook friends.
Facebook.
And now is the time for you to take what you're hearing and translate it into donations to support the station. You can go to forwardradio.org. You'll find a big yellow button at the top under our No Corporate Bowl banner. This is the station where you don't ever once have to hear the name of one of those corporations that is just constantly in your ears and eyes everywhere else you go, right? We are not controlled by any corporate masters or even, I would say, any big philanthropist who kind of wants to set the agenda. It would be great if there was some millionaire out there who wanted to support us, but we're not going to let even a millionaire determine what goes out over our airwaves. Now, if a millionaire wants to come into the Access Hour and talk about something, this station is open to everyone.
We would love that. We would love it. Bring your suitcase of money. We would love for you to come in and just leave the money, and you could do a show, but we would love your money.
But you can't
Right.
come on this station and advertise your product or service. And that makes a big difference in what you hear on our station. And not that we don't support small businesses. We do have small business owners, local business owners come on our station from time to time and talk about what they do. But it's in a very different way from the 30-second, cram it in your ear, make you buy kind of thing you hear.
Oh, I love those commercials. Come on, it's like insert company name here. Like, are you tired? Are you restless? Have you had a new mattress? No. Oh my God, you know me.
Like the so-called infomercial you see late night television,
Right.
that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Are you dehydrated? Yes, I am. You should buy this product. Be like, oh man, I really need that stuff.
So, ladies and gents, what you end up with is a more
Wholesome.
genuine. I was also thinking of the word wholesome. Content that comes straight from again, we're trying to get to the heart of matters.
Yeah.
So
Independent too.
independent.
We can say what we want within reason.
Within reason. Within reason. It's not, you can say anything. It's all about how you say it.
They won't let me say bad words on the radio. I can't say swear words.
And again, you're getting content that you don't hear a lot, whether local or national media.
Yeah.
Or you go back to Richard Wolff, we discuss cooperatives in the local economy.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of discussion about that. And
Right.
so I thought it was important, since my show tries to be locally focused, so to speak,
Yeah.
to talk about, Rick, how do worker co-ops work in a local economy? What do you envision? Because
Exactly.
he has written so much about it.
Yeah.
And I think that was very informative. And then worker co-ops are small business, as you
Yeah.
were just saying.
Yeah, exactly. You can support it all today, giveforgoodlouisville.org. We want to thank you live on the air. You could be our next donor right now. You can go to forwardradio.org. Maybe you're listening online at forwardradio.org. You can be listening anywhere in the world, my friends. You can still donate right now. Just click that big yellow button at the top of our homepage, and you'll be sent over to our landing page at Give for Good Louisville. And that's where you can give anything from $10 or up to help keep us on the air. We have a goal today of raising just $4,000. That is such a modest goal, you all. You can help us get there. But it's not modest in terms of the impact on the station, because think about it. And maybe you can do the quick math for me, right? We know that our bills at Forward Radio, whether it's our licensing fees or our rent or utilities, all that kind of stuff, it all adds up to about $20 a day, right? And I've said that before many times on the station. $20 a day is all it takes to keep this station live on the air. So if we could raise $4,000 today, how many days of broadcasting are we talking about? 200 days,
Yeah.
right? That would get us to when? Our 7th birthday in April.
Yeah. And the party's going to be off the hook.
Yeah. I want to welcome into the studio. We've just had an angry Bud join us. Tory Strange, co-founder of the station, is here. Welcome.
Well, I had quite a morning.
Yes.
Oh.
Typical Tory fashion. I spent about half an hour looking for my keys.
Oh, I thought you.
I had every
I thought you were going to
intention
say wallet to
actually
give
be
for
here
good.
early.
Yeah, their wallet.
Which I never am.
I can
And
sympathize with that.
where did I find them?
Pocket.
In your pocket,
No.
in your
No,
car,
It's worse. It's worse.
In the
It's
in the door.
locked in the trunk of my car.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yes, I'm getting that old and
You're only, what, 35, 35?
Right. Just add
You had extra car keys though.
let's
You
see,
already
more
know.
than 3 decades to add to that. And the other thing is, I lost a crown this morning, so I had to call
Oh,
my
no.
dentist to make an
Oh,
appointment
no.
on top of losing the keys.
I thought you were going to say you lost
The
it.
first one is mine.
Yes, so it's so wonderful to be in the studio with all these upbeat, wonderful people. And it makes me, I'm feeling much better already.
Yay.
And I've already wrangled a check out of my sister.
Oh, good.
Oh, I thought you said she was.
She doesn't donate online.
Oh, okay.
Sadly.
So, you've heard this sob story. Tori lost her queen's crown.
So donate,
Today.
please.
We need to replace the jewels. Tori, you are the jewel in the crown of Forward Radio. So if you want to give in honor of someone, you can do that at giveforgoodlouisville.org. And if I could just, I mean, we're having a lot of fun here, and I want us to continue having fun. But if I could just take a second to tell the story of who I gave to Forward Radio in honor of today.
Oh.
Is one of our former programmers who passed away, thankfully, like not while in the studio or something horrific like that. But I want to give a shout out to Lonnie Griesbaum, who was such a great volunteer for our station for the short time he was with us. He didn't die at a young age. I don't mean to imply that, but he was only with the station for, gosh, do you remember, Tori, maybe a couple years?
Yeah, a couple of years.
Yeah, and he hosted such a wonderful music program. And I really miss him. But the fun thing about Forward Radio is there are ghosts on our station. We've lost Tim Sheldorf as well, one of the co-founders of the station. There are the voices of Tim and of Lonnie still come to me, and not just in my dreams, but when I listen to Forward Radio, I hear station IDs or promos with their voices, and it just gives me a little like, well, they're still with us, you all. They're still supporting the
Right.
station,
It's
right?
that warm,
Right.
happy feeling. Like, oh,
Yeah.
Their spirit is with us.
Their spirit is certainly with us. So you can give in honor of either a deceased or a living. Goliath is not deceased. He's here. He wants you to give, and you can give in honor of him.
And if you don't donate and I die tomorrow, I will haunt you. So be warned. If you don't donate, I will. You will hear.
You didn't do it. Another reason to give.
You don't want to hear those chains rattling when the ghost of Goliath knocks on your door in the middle of the night and says, Why did you hoard the funds? You could have shared your wealth with Forward.
And it will be more than Christmas Eve.
Oh, I'm all year round, baby. I'm January to December. I might take off for New Year's. I need my time off to go to Ghost New Year's. But the rest of the year, I'm going to haunt you. Noises, chains, rattling. So remember, if you don't want this voice in your head forever, you want to donate.
Wow, every year we come up with a new reason to give, and I think that's the one for this year. Don't be haunted by them.
don't be haunted by Goliath.
I'm actually more worried about being haunted by Yanielle for some reason.
I can't imagine why.
I feel like you could sneak into my room in the middle of the night easier than Goliath could.
No.
No, I have to
Let me explain. Danielle, seriously, you could be anywhere. This girl could sneak up on you right behind you. You would just turn around and Danielle.
Especially if you're
When-
partially blind.
Yes.
I don't sneak. I just walk up to places quietly. That's all.
It's not sneaky.
Well, Goliath has that murderous, aura. It's like, oh god, he's big and terrifying. Danielle's like that soft butterfly that lands on you, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh, bug.
Donate. We want to thank you live on the air. You can do it now at giveforgoodlouisville.org. $10 or any amount is going to help us towards our goal today. We've got several friends in the studio here on our live Access Hour. I'm Justin Mogg. We've got Goliath and Yanielle. We've got Tory, an angry bud, and we have Tom Lambert, host of Economic Impact. Tom's an economist. He's getting you thinking today about the economic impact of your contributions, right, Tom?
There are definitely spin-off effects. You're helping people invest in themselves, or our community invest in themselves,
Yeah.
making them better. I mentioned, Cosair earlier and what they do at the Children's Hospital. You're helping those kids recover and go on to lead
Yeah.
productive lives. In
Yeah.
many cases, if you can help them, and the charity spending does make a difference. Like I said, for many years there was consideration, well, this is just the residual amount that people have left over. They spend it in, perhaps a non-productive way. It's going for relief, but the thinking has changed over the decades. Well, wait a minute. You're actually helping fulfill a service, some type of investment in people. So there are ripple effects
Yeah.
from that, so to speak. And I was also going to mention, Justin, in addition to financial donations, folks can also be encouraged to contribute a show if
Yes.
they think about it
Yeah.
or volunteer. There are more than just there's more than just one way to contribute to the station. We're always accepting new
Always.
show ideas, so
Oh, yeah.
folks are welcome to try that as well. Make a contribution that way.
And this is a great moment to point out the very program we're on. It's called the Access Hour because it's lowering the bar of access to you. You don't need to commit to doing a weekly program like these amazing people I'm sharing the studio with. You could just do a one-time thing. You could say, I want to get on and talk about teddy bears because I love teddy bears. You can have a show about teddy bears here on the Access Hour. I mean, we'd love it if it was even more impactful and meaningful than that. But maybe there's something about teddy bears that I don't know about that I really need to know
But you
about.
can't plug your product.
You
If
can't
like an
plug your
infomercial.
teddy bear company.
Yeah. On the other hand, it's your hobby.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
Good way
passion.
how
And
long
if
they've
it
been
is-
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there must
exactly.
be a reason.
Why you love teddy bears so much?
If it is
Exactly.
your company, you can talk about your story and
How you
Oh,
came up,
absolutely.
how you rose up.
Exactly. So I have a coworker who's been pitching to me radio show ideas. Miss Adrian, if you are out there listening,
Yeah,
I
Miss
am
Adrian.
talking to you.
We want your
We
voice.
want you on the radio.
No pressure.
No pressure.
You don't have to produce your
No
show
pressure.
by noon today, but you can give by noon, and we will thank you live on the air right now.
Yes, please.
Tory, you want to talk a little bit about the history of Forward Radio? We have come so far in 6.5 years now.
Well, I wrote an email to thank a wonderful supporter last night, Nancy Peterson. Shout out to Nancy
shout out
Peterson.
Nancy.
She's going to donate today if she hasn't already. And I was trying to, in my email, I said, it's so hard for me to believe we've been on the air over 6 years.
I know.
Yes.
But then, if you think back, the first meeting that we had where we mulled over the idea of applying for a low power FM community radio license was in 2012.
No way.
Almost
20
And there were
11 years ago.
years worth of meetings and fundraisers
Right.
and an engineering study
I
and then
remember.
the application for the license. And I remember I was on vacation in California, in Mexico, when we got the news that the license had been approved. That we'd gotten the license.
Yeah.
And
And then we were like, oh my
that
God, we
was
have to
in
get this thing built.
2016.
Yes.
And then the next April, we were on the air after a Herculean effort
It
to
really
get
was.
our, raise money for our equipment, to find a studio.
Equipment's
And
not cheap.
Justin, I remember you, the first meeting I think I met you at was when you were still meeting at the 4th and York Unitarian.
Oh yeah, we were thinking about maybe our studios would be located there.
Yeah, and
I was doing some
Evans,
test
you
broadcasts.
came aboard, you're like the rock.
Yeah.
I remember that. I can remember maybe even going as far back as 2009. But 2012, and I was kind of touching base off and on with some of the folks here, but just really didn't have that much time.
Yeah.
I was also at Northern Kentucky University,
Yeah.
and then went back to U of L. But I toyed with the idea for having a show for like 6 years.
Oh really?
Finally, just
Finally
bit-
launched.
finally bit the bullet and said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try this instead of debating over and over. And I'm glad I did. So,
We're
Yeah.
glad to have you, my
Well,
goodness.
Yeah.
And here's
Thank
an
you.
important thing, y'all. With the emergence of podcasting, I think especially a lot of young people think about, if I wanted to do a show, well, what do I need Forward Radio for? I can just do a podcast. Anybody can do a podcast,
Yeah.
right? But if you're listening right now, you kind of get a sense that maybe this is a lot more fun than sitting in your closet making a podcast by yourself.
It is. And you can also invite other hosts. Like I've had like 3 other shows, radio hosts on my show.
exactly.
And it's like, yeah, sitting in your mom's basement, your basement, whoever's basement, and being alone, it's like, yeah, you can sit there and talk to yourself. You can talk to people online, but it's more fun to talk to people in the studio where the sun is, where light is,
Mhm.
where, you can make connections and make really good friendships. So yes, you can do it by yourself, and maybe you want to be by yourself. But you know what? You can also be by yourself in a really well-produced, equipped studio. You don't have to buy equipment. Like all the equipment's already here, guys. Everything you need is here, and we'll
Get
teach you.
connected. You can get connected to other people who care about this medium, who care about our community and are invested in our community and have all their networks and connections.
Yep.
And that's how you make this magical community radio station work, is through the connections in the community. And we do sometimes, some weeks I feel like I am in my own little bubble at Forward Radio. I'm just doing my thing. But then I broaden the lens out and I realize how much I'm supporting by being a part of this station, by giving of my time to produce content that will keep people tuning in, right? That means they might hear the show that comes on after me or before me, right? And that's how you build community and you share ideas that people might not hear if they were in their own social media world, just getting the feed that the algorithm told them to get, right? That's what's exciting about community radio.
And the other part is with a podcast, guys, you're also being subservient to those big corporations we're not going to name, but their algorithms are like, if you're like, I can name a celebrity, Mr. Beast, like he is, endorsed by tons and tons of people. So he gets first AI, first Google, first this, for that. If your name is Mr. Willy Wonka, no one knows you. No one knows who you are. You may sell chocolate, you may be amazing, but no one has a clue who you are. The algorithms are on how many people watch a show, how many people tuned in, how many people stayed after a minute, how many people stayed for 10 minutes. You already have that with us. We have about 1,400 followers and listeners just on our Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's just our Facebook, guys. Then you have the live radio, you have the shows, and we can help you get that outreach. Because again, I have a community nerd hour. We have economics. We have Justin's mom sustainability. Like you might meet someone who rides a bike like Justin, who also loves Star Wars, or you might meet someone who's in economics who loves Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
You never know, and
That's
by
right.
connecting with these people, you reach out to whole other groups you never knew existed. existed. You might find a subgroup,
Right.
like I'm involved with Fall City Community Bike Works, and Justin's had them on the show like 3 or 4 times,
Oh yeah.
and there's like 7 nerds I've met through that, and I'm like, wait, nerds ride bikes? I thought we just lived in our mother's basement and collected toys. I was wrong.
Of course we ride bikes. Come on now.
Nerds need exercise too.
Yes, but it's amazing like how much you can just. When I first, I think it was Justin that pulled me in the bike shop in to come do a radio show.
Yeah, that's when
And
you
then-
first got the taste of it.
Yeah, I was like, I want more of this because I actually started my William Patterson University, my college I went to. I actually got the radio show. It was running from 1960 to 1988, and then the college did away with the radio because it was so expensive. And I said,
Yeah.
what do we need to have the radio back? And they
Yeah.
said, we need $5,500. I'm like, oh. So I hit all the donor boards. I hit all the board of directors, and they were like, oh, we didn't know the radio was shut down. The school was just looping shows from 30 years ago, just repeat. I'm like, wow. So now we only covered the campus, but I told the donors we'd love to have the radio back. We'd love to have it. And we got it. Now it took time. It took me like 2 semesters. I got to enjoy it for 1. But it was amazing to know that the donors were like, why don't we have radio? Why don't we have public access to college students? And they were like, let's revamp this. And to this day, because of what I did, it's still going. I had to march a little bit, picket, but the job was done. And same thing with forward radio, guys. We don't want to lose forward radio. Because if we lose forward radio, again, as Yanielle said, we are the last
Bastion, the last bastion of public access.
We are the last unicorn. Do you want to see the last unicorn die? They made a movie about this, guys. Let's not repeat it.
Yeah.
We are the last, the proud, the mighty.
We are Forward Radio, WFMP Louisville.
And we want to thank our funders at forwardradio.org. We were stuck for a while, y'all, on the unlucky number of 13 donors, but we have suddenly slipped past that, and so Goliath will not haunt who have just donated. We're now at 15 donors, $1,199. One of those donors, Tory, is Nancy Jacobiak. Thank you, Nancy. But wait a minute, there's another Nancy we need to thank.
It's the lucky Nancy's.
Nancy Peterson, thank you.
Yes!
You've all been so generous in your contributions. Again, the dollar amount is important, right? We need to get to 4,000, but I know not everybody can afford a huge generous donation, so don't feel like you got to keep up with, oh, Nancy Peterson. I don't know if I can. It doesn't matter. This isn't like a competition between you and the lucky Nancys. It's really whatever you can afford to give.
Right.
And there's many strategies here. Like if you have $100 to give today, you could choose to give it all to Forward Radio, or you could choose to give $10 to 10 organizations. And I can never decide which I want to do. Does anybody have a feeling like, or what's an economist
To the
perspective on this?
economist voice.
Well, the economist perspective would be you would try to match up the marginal utility from each donation to
Right.
each organization until they're equal.
Yes.
So if you believe in Forward Radio, you're going to give a slightly greater amount than
Oh, you could do a
another
little calculation.
organization. There's some weighing, I
Yes.
suppose.
Yes.
Whether people actually do that,
I mean, well.
we just assume that they do, and maybe the math doesn't work out exactly, but we assume that they try to approach that.
Yeah.
So, in general.
You get to decide the amount. That's up to you.
And I don't want to sound greedy or anything.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to put a little plug
Uh-oh.
in for Forward Radio as independent media being vitally important.
Yes.
Exactly.
We have so much consolidation and corporatization
know.
of the media. And when you turn on the news sometimes you just think,
Oh,
is
she
this
missed
all
that.
there is to talk about? It's
Plus
the
local
same,
focus.
I know.
the
Oh,
same
yeah.
topics
Over and over and over.
Exactly.
strong opinions, and I've got nothing wrong with that. That's not exactly news. It's
Right.
opinion
Right.
shows, and there are a lot of those on cable.
Right.
But
Because they're cheap.
Forward
Mm,
Radio,
affordable.
and there's also a dearth of local news. Local
Yeah.
newspapers have been dying out, and
Mm.
there's a lot less coverage of what's going on in the state houses,
Yeah.
and that's
Exactly.
where a lot of experimenting with our democracy takes place in the state houses. citizens
Absolutely.
and local government too. So that's why forward radio is so valuable.
And just an example of that, last weekend we held the first ever People's Food Summit in Louisville.
Oh yeah.
And I was the only person from the media there. People were doing their little social media posts, and that's fine. But I'm bringing you highlights from the People's Food Summit and the tours of urban agriculture that we took on my program, and you'll probably hear it coming up on Truth to Power as well. That kind of citizen journalism where we're out there in the community covering these really important moments in our collective movement towards a better Louisville. Nobody else is doing it, you all, and we're doing it on a shoestring.
Never doubt that a single person or even a small dedicated group will get to the bottom of things in, a very dedicated way.
Yeah.
There is power in not being, say, ruled by the corporations or the news outlets. And we will go after the things that we are passionate about.
Yeah,
and we will try to bring that to the community. And, we kind of put almost a vulnerable part of ourselves out there. Like, this is what we're passionate about.
Sure.
This is what
Oh,
we
yeah.
care about. And this is what we want to bring
Right.
to you because we think it's really, really important.
Yeah.
I think the more perspectives you have from different angles, and we provide extra in that regard,
Yeah.
in addition to local media. I mean, for example, with sports gambling starting last week, and then
Oh, yeah.
goes online today, I didn't see a single article that mentioned the fact that Kentucky never had a gambling addiction program that was publicly funded through tax dollars, despite the fact that horse racing was legal gambling since the 1930s. And I mentioned on the show I did a couple weeks ago about gambling that we've never done that. And we're now seeing ads for problem gambling and some mention of it, but a lot of what I saw said, well, we've got sports gambling now and it's going to be held here, this amount, and then no really historical perspective of what had gone on before, the background of the bill, et cetera. So I think the more voices you have, the more informed listeners can be.
Yeah, this is your station. We need you to support it today at giveforgoodlouisville.org, or if you're at our website, forwardradio.org, just tuning in online or listening to some of those podcasts. Yes, we also podcast you all, and you can find them at forwardradio.org. You'll just click that yellow button at the top. It'll send you over to our landing page where you'll be able to see all the other wonderful donors. Oh, we just got another one. Oh my goodness. And here's another friend of the station that we want to take a moment to shout out and thank, and you're in our thoughts and prayers. Carol Trainer, one of the co-founders of the station as well, from Veterans for Peace Radio Hour. We know, Carol, you are suffering through some really horrible medical issues right now. We want to keep you in our thoughts, but even amongst that, you're donating to the station. You're the best. Thank you, Carol.
And actually, the funny thing is, as soon as he donated, we just broke $2 million on the whole thing for the Give for Good Louisville. I think she may have pushed it over.
She pushed it.
Way to go, Carol.
Not for us, but
Not for us, but Give for Good for Louisville. I would love if we had $2 million. We'd be doing great.
Yes.
We'd have multiple locations: Jeffersonville, Louisville, Lexington, like Forward Radio, but Lexington edition.
So remember, folks, Give for Good Louisville is fundraising for all kinds of nonprofits out there. We are just one of them. We are proud to be here and glad for the opportunity to participate with the Community Foundation.
And remember, guys, there's a lot of organizations that aren't on Give for Good Louisville, basically. There are groups that are just finding out about it. There are groups that are just starting out that are a year old, 2 year, 3 year old. And some people are asking, like, what does my money do? How do I know where my money goes? Like, your money really does go to help these groups, guys, believe it or not. And like Ripley's, believe it or not, your money does help these organizations. You keep them going. Again, for $1, $5, it is amazing what some simple things like I was just not trying to boast about the bike shop. We just had someone donate, I'm not going to say how much, but a very large sum of money to help us out. And we like, they have no idea. They're like, what's this going to go to? Keep our lights on. Like, no joke. Like, they have no idea how much that helps, even if it's like a $500 check or an $800, heck, a $50 check. You have no idea how much that little bit or that lot of bit can make a difference for a nonprofit, especially when they are literally funded by donations, contributions, and that you have no idea how much a $50 check could mean to an organization. You might save them from closing their doors.
For those wondering also, like, how much a small donation, how much impact it can have, I think it's worth thinking about scholarship dollars.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would not have been able to go to college
Right.
and get my education without a scholarship dollar. And those grants, which is what this fundraising is, you're granting us the ability to do more. That's exactly what my college scholarships did, and I am forever grateful to people that I do not know
Yeah.
who created the Green Mountain College. It was community service scholarship
Wow.
that allowed me to go
Super.
to school.
That's such a
Wonderful.
cool story.
And especially with
And
like
speaking
college
of Carol-
nowadays. Sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
College nowadays, like I walked out by the grace of God. I had the National Federation of Blind. I had donors. I was able to meet some of the people that paid for my college and saved me from a $48,000 debt when I walked out of college. I was
Right.
like, I don't have that. And then donors and funders came out to like, oh,
Yeah.
are you going to work in the industry? You're going to work with disabled people. And I did for years,
Makes a
which
difference.
helped. But my God, guys, like you have no idea. Like again, these donations for college save college kids from debt and poverty.
I plan on doing a show on the high cost of college down the road. Have a speaker lined up.
Nice.
I need to get back with him.
Nice.
He's going to give a faculty perspective. And you mentioned Carol Trainer earlier.
Yeah.
She's been part of the Veterans for Peace Hour, which is another show. Just wanted to put in a plug
Yes.
for that.
A monthly program. You could do a monthly show
yeah.
here for
Right.
you. Yeah.
John Wilburn is part of that. He's a good friend of mine. John is a really good guy. And Patrick, I can't remember his last name, but they've been part of that show. It's an excellent show. Folks
Is
should
it
listen
King?
in. I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I mean, so many great ideas, like a scholarship. Like, think about all the education you get from a station like Forward Radio. If you're a participant in Forward Radio, volunteer, you certainly learn a lot of things, whether it's about how to run a radio station or about other groups in and other people in your community. But if you just sit down and listen to Forward Radio, I guarantee you're going to learn. That is scholarship, my friend. So you could give a scholarship to the entire community by donating now at giveforgoodlouisville.org. Find our station, chip in whatever you can. It's like giving a scholarship to the whole community. To learn a popular education, right? There's formal education in universities. There's definitely a value to that. But I have learned so much more outside of the classroom than I ever learned inside. Another thing I wanted to touch on, you mentioned about how some groups aren't on Give for Good Louisville. And I'll say that my practice, my annual practice of doing Give for Good Louisville, every year I realize that. I think about some organization that I've been meaning to support. I search for them on Give for Good Louisville, and if I don't find them, I give anyway. So I did that last night. Black Lives Matter is not on Give for Good Louisville. I don't know why, but
Wow.
that's fine. So I went to their website and I donated directly to their community bail fund. Just because, like, there's this cascade of giving, right? Like, once you get in the groove of it, you start realizing, there's so many people I've been meaning to support. And in our busy lives, we just don't take that time. But if you just sit down today, go to giveforgoodlouisville.org, and you will open up your heart and your wallet in ways that are so impactful to our community.
And,
Exactly.
and I don't want to sound like I'm giving another lecture, but
Why
I just
not?
want to say I think that getting involved, participating in Forward Radio has just been such a central part of my life for the last 12 years.
Yeah,
11
basically.
years,
Yeah.
11 years. But it makes, I think getting involved in something, whether it's a financial donation or actual participation with a group of other people, makes you feel good.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it
it
makes you
does.
feel happy. And it's a much better source of joy than like going out and buying something, consuming, buying something you want.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying we're sort of trained in this sort of culture that we have here that
Consumerism.
buying things will make you feel better, and actually,
All the studies show giving away makes you
Yeah.
feel so much
yes,
better.
and so that, I'm just putting in a little plug for that.
Yeah.
I
There's
hope
no-
I didn't sound like I was like
No, that's good.
There's actually flimsy evidence at best that consumerism makes someone happy.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
never does. You can have all you can have all the
You'll
things in
just
the
be
world.
trying to fill the void.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
Like I go to let's say it's an arcade. I'm not sure if I can say around one. Is that okay? Too
Sure.
late. I love going around one downtown in the St. Jefferson Mall.
Jefferson.
And what I do is I love giving because I have a lot of, you can ask Yanielle, I have way too many collectibles. So I play a lot of their crane games, and they actually get mad at me when I win. They get mad. There's a reason why I'm telling the story. So I win, and I walk out with bags of their stuff all the time. But I don't walk out. I keep the things I want. I'm literally going around the arcade, and I give all the stuffed animals, figurines, and toys away to children. And people are like, the manager came over to me one time and said, "You can't do this." And I'm like, "Why? Did I win it? Yes. Is it my property? Yes. Can I give my property away? Yes." They're mad at me for giving stuff, and I'm like, "No, this kid was
spent the money to win, so what difference does it make to them?
They don't like the fact that A, I know how to beat their machines, B, I'm giving their stuff away, and C, I'm doing it inside their building.
Sounds like a casino with you.
Yeah.
They don't want you back.
Legitimately, one time we were in there and the manager comes in and says, "Can you please stop winning?"
I had won 25 plushies, figurines, and toys, and we had a table where it's sitting eating like dinner, pizza and stuff, and he literally comes over and goes, "Could you please stop winning?"
And this is a man who's partially blind. It's amazing. So take a second, take your coin out of your wallet, put it in the slot at giveforgoodwill.org. You will drop a crane down to the airwaves to pull out independent media for all.
That's a good segue.
And we want to thank our most recent donor, Pamela Rake. Thank you, Pamela, for donating. We want to thank you live on the air. Every one of these small donations or big donations are helping us towards our goal of $4,000. We are at over 1,200 already. 31% of the way there. Can you push us? Could we? We wanted to get to 30. I thought that was a stretch goal, but maybe 35. Could we get to 40% by the end of the hour? You have 8 minutes left to get thanked live on the air. We have 17 donors so far. One by one, we're getting there towards our goal of supporting community media for all. This is your station. You can become a part of it right now, even if you don't have a second to volunteer. You're like, what? No, I can't volunteer. Just take a second to donate to Forward Radio right now, and you will become a part of our family. We'll be so grateful for you. You will help keep us on the air. Again, it just takes $20 for an entire day's broadcast. Y'all.
Exactly. And you could also, if you want to work with us, you could probably earn one of our awesome t-shirts in the long run.
There you go.
It's a t-shirt.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is news hot off the press from Give for Good Louisville. They have an upcoming prize alert.
Oh.
They announced that if you give now for a chance, you may be randomly selected to receive a $1,000 ticket to boost your donation.
Wow.
So this is sponsored by Derby City Gaming. And truthfully, it would get us like to
2,000.
over half of our goal. Please consider trying to help us gain the golden ticket.
Every single hour that you donate throughout the day, you have a chance to get that golden ticket, $1,000 extra dollars, so that your $10 donation to Forward Radio becomes $1,010 for Forward Radio.
And we would love you so much.
Yes.
And remember that Derby City Gaming is a branch of Churchill Downs, which is also local. So this is a local organization trying to help.
Yes. Also, I should mention, if you've never given to Forward Radio before, this is a great time because there is a special $1,000 bonus available for new donors. The Owsley Brown Family Foundation, recognizing donors who give to an organization for the first time, because they know it takes all of us to build a healthy Louisville. So 8 different donors who give to an organization for the first time today will be randomly selected to get a $1,000 boost.
Yeah!
We need it, folks.
So
please give us a hand.
Whether you've given to us before or have never done it before, now is the time to go to giveforgoodlouisville.org. Pledge whatever you can to support the station. We are also going to participate in the greatest 2 minutes of giving later on today between 5:15 and 5:17. It is sponsored by none other than Churchill Downs, right?
Oh,
to get you in the mood for the greatest 2 minutes of giving. We'll be doing a special live critical thinking for everyone. So maybe you want to give $10 now, but you give $10 also at 5:15 and help us try and get those incredible. There's a $20,000 match possible in that window of 2 minutes. So this is great, and no matter when we give or if we win any of these special prizes, it all counts up because the Community Foundation is going to be giving out a pool of $50,000 for
Ooh.
each tier of organization. There's 3 different tiers based on how big we're in the bottom one. We're the small
We're in the
one.
small tier.
We're in the
It's
small tier,
okay.
right? So if we do really well in raising money, we will be getting a portion of that distributed 50 grand, right? So
Ooh.
this is how your money gets multiplied when you give today only. And you have 5 minutes left in our hour for us to thank you live on the air. But stay tuned to Forward Radio. We've got great stuff coming up throughout the day. At 2 o'clock, your friend Bob Klein is going to be coming into the studio to spin some platters on Retro
He's
Forward. And we are going to have a great time playing music from the 80s and 90s today to encourage you,
My favorites.
all you Gen Xers, to donate to the station. And we're going to have a great
And
time.
boomers.
Yeah, and boomers are welcome too. We
Gen
all
Z.
lived through those years, right? So stay tuned from 2 to 4. We're going to have that special live Retro Forward, and then we'll also be doing that live Terra Firma at 7 p.m. today. So lots of reasons to stay tuned, whether you've already donated or are still thinking about it. Still, where did I put my credit card? Or if you like Tory, it's in your trunk. In your trunk.
So, ladies and gents, remember, you want to donate now. You want to donate at 5:15.
We have 12 hours.
Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Don't wait till 11:55 at night.
You-
Okay.
You want to walk
Exactly.
through the rest of the day feeling good, like you've contributed to something
Your
in your
psychic
community.
Yeah.
benefits.
Yes.
Your
I mean,
psychic
unless you're a
benefits.
night owl and you want to wake up at 11 o'clock at night and go, I just want to give $1,000 to a random radio station. You know, it could happen. There could be that guy that works all day, sleeps all night, and just goes, hey, I want to give money.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference. It's not, like I was saying earlier, not just residual funds, it has an impact.
It does.
Real impact.
It has an impact on you. It has an impact on your broader community. That's what I love about community radio is the broadcasting of these ideas and these voices and these perspectives that in our very fractured lives where everybody's kind of in their own little media bubble, this is one place where you can get exposed to things you may not have even thought about. And a great part of that is coming up right here at noon. We're going to turn it over to your regularly scheduled programming, and you are going to hear another edition of Perks of Being a Book Lover. You all. Where else are you going to hear people nerding out on their favorite books? That's what you get on community radio. Nowhere else. So if you love it, if you support that kind of programming, go to forwardradio.org, click that yellow button at the top to give for good Louisville. We're at 31% of our goal with 17 of you all supporting us.
Thank you,
guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much. Let's run through all of those fine friends who donated already today. I have to click the See More Donations button multiple times because of you all.
Thank you.
Our
Thank you,
very
guys.
first donor was Julie Zlatos. I donated at midnight because I'm a fan of the witching hour. But Marshall Scheller, Mark McKinley, Michael McGuire, who loves terra firma, Amy Smalley, several anonymous donors, Dave Robinson, host of Bench Talk, Mary Williams, the Lazarus Group, Goliath and Yanielle, the two Nancys, Jakubiak and Peterson, Carol Trainer, and Pamela Ray. Thank you
And
all.
of course, Anonymous.
Anonymous.
We thank you, Anonymous.
And again, you can give monthly like I do if you prefer. So then you don't need to be reminded, etc. So yeah, each month.
So thank you again for tuning into this special live access hour, everybody. Stay tuned to the station, 106.5 FM and forwardradio.org. We've got great live programming coming up for you throughout the day. Go to giveforgoodlouisville.org whenever you have a chance and support not just us, but the other great nonprofits in our community that are making this place so livable in so many different ways.
Thank you, guys.
So with no further ado, we're going to take you back to our regularly scheduled programming with Perks of Being a Book Lover coming up here at noon on your favorite community radio station, WFMP Louisville. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thanks so much for giving to support the station.
Woo!
It was the other
And
button.
that's a wrap.
And folks, that's a wrap.
I'll switch it back to the other button. Okay.
So they rate so far. Gifford Louisville has raised $2.1 million.
Wow.
550 companies, man. Dang. 11 hours,
4,000 is
59
very
minutes, and
reasonable,
55 seconds
Justin.
left.
I don't, I mean,
We have an
should be
Arbor
able to
laptop.
get it, so.